Okay, here's the question. How much fruit? How much vegetables? Here's the answer. All the fruit you want until you're absolutely sure that you're not going to be looking around for something sweet at the end of dinner. That's it. Do we need a longer video? Yeah, maybe. What's a fruit? Well, a fruit is a fruit that you eat and it tastes like fruit. It's sweet to you, it's satiating. You could easily make a satisfying meal, whether you're eating a 400 calorie meal or an 800 calorie meal or a 1200 calorie meal, depends on the person. But you could easily make a meal of that and be satisfied for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours afterwards until the next meal. That's fruit. And I don't really care what botany calls fruit. We don't all have to become scientists in order to figure out whether a pineapple or an almond or an avocado counts as fruit or not. I'm thinking about fruit that we eat in the kitchen as fruit. We treat it like, oh, this is sweet and juicy. I understand full well that a cucumber botanically is a fruit, but don't get confused. We use it like vegetables. It's juicy, but it's not sweet. And I don't care how many cucumbers you eat, making a meal of cucumbers, making a day of just cucumbers is going to be very unsatisfying. And you wouldn't want to do it again and again. You couldn't live on just cucumbers. I know a guy lived on bananas for 4 years. I'm not recommending it, but it could be done, but not cucumbers. So if in the kitchen you use it like a vegetable, it's a vegetable for our purposes. And if in the kitchen you use it like fruit, it's fruit. So when it comes to your salad and you're making salad fixings, now you want to go, oh, well, should it be dark green leafy? Oh, the cucumber's not dark green, it's not leafy. I peeled it, it's white. Does it count? Well, you're eating it like a vegetable. Let's, instead of saying dark green leafy, let's consider any vegetable you're content to eat raw will be just fine in your total count for vegetable. You could call it salad fixins. Any vegetables you'd be willing to throw into a salad, we'll call that greens. Just for a word, not all greens are green. I mean, not all oranges are orange, you know? I mean, that's just the way things are in the world, and not all lemons are yellow. So don't get hung up on the word, but more on the concept of I'm eating enough fruit so that I never, ever crave in between meals. I'm not looking for something sweet. At the end of meals, I'm not looking around for something more to eat, either sweet or heavy or rich or however you would describe it. I'm satisfied. When I step away from the table, I'm satisfied. I'm not thinking about food again for a good long time. How much vegetables should we eat? Well, again, we need to eat enough vegetables to satisfy an inherent desire for sodium. We're not going to get enough sodium without eating vegetables. Fruit alone rarely does this. It leaves you with plenty of potassium, but over time, especially if you're really hot and sweating and working and challenging your muscles, we need to have sufficient sodium as well. And you're going to get that sodium density from eating your vegetables. If you're ever looking around at salty food, craving salt, thinking, oh, maybe what about salt? I should be adding some salt to, maybe salt would be a good thing. How much could a little salt hurt? You know, you don't need to eat any salt if you're eating enough vegetables. And if you're craving salt, it's a sure sign you simply haven't been eating enough vegetables. And I don't care if they're red or if they're white or if they're purple. We don't care what color. They're all going to give us the mineral density that's just a little richer in minerals without taking in the calories that we're going to get from fruit. So there's, other than psychological cravings, which I understand there's a million different kinds of those. But in terms of physiologic cravings revolving around food, we're really only looking for 6 possibilities. 4 of them are sweets. Sweets in between meals, sweets right after the meals, sweets before a meal. A craving for sweets that we sort of pervert by eating starches instead, which are complex carbohydrates that we eventually convert into simple carbohydrates anyway, or a craving for sweets that we simply don't recognize, and so we eat nuts or seeds or avocados or something crazy rich instead, only to realize at the end of it that we're still craving, that it didn't satisfy the urge, and then we have something sweet. The 5th craving is craving for something salty, a serious desire for something salty, and that's a surefire indication that you haven't eaten enough vegetables, whereas all the others were a surefire indication that you didn't eat enough fruit, or the fruit you did choose simply wasn't sweet enough. It only leaves us with one more potential craving, and that is simply for calories themselves. You go, I don't care what I eat, I need something rich. And that only happens if you haven't been eating enough food to begin with. You're trying to lose weight too quickly, you're inadvertently under-eating for months at a time, losing weight endlessly, and you're getting to a point where you weigh 62 pounds and you need to eat and you don't care what it is. That craving almost never happens to anybody, but it does sometimes happen to people who inadvertently or intentionally dramatically and consistently under-eat on calories. Otherwise, fruits and vegetables totally do the job. You never have that 6th craving. And anything else, I simply don't know about other physiologic cravings. When it comes to really desiring enough and getting enough, eat enough fruit so that you don't experience cravings before, during, or after meals. Eat enough vegetables, all the vegetables you care for, certainly enough so that you're not craving salt at any time.